Two girls, one cup of GSB. Speaking of two girls and two nostrils, that's clarity. That's the clarity of what? Of Nadi Shodhana breathing. Two girls, one cup of knowledge. I wanted to call this Chinese entrepreneurship before Harvard. I wanted to call this video Chinese entrepreneurship deep in the heart of America. I wanted to also call this video deeply understanding Chinese knowledge because I'm not rocking one starfish. I'm rocking multiple starfish with multiple $1 billion exits. I am not John Wang. That's John Wang, the CEO of Windsurf, Michigan Engineering. That's John Wang. John Wayne is currently a statue at Orange County. I wanted to call this video Chinese Entrepreneurship Before HBS. I wanted to call this video It's the Great Depression. Let's mother scratching avoid bankruptcy. Let's understand we're in the Great Depression right now. There's no voting our way out of it. This is two girls, one cup of GSB. Goyam School of Business. You're a Goyam. You're a Goyam. Goyam Unite. I was struggling to figure out what kind of following that I was building because I wasn't trying to build a following. Larry, you should build a following. You should get people to follow you. I wanted to do Come Grow Go. That's why it's Come Grow Go. This is the following. I figured it out last night. This is why I'm super excited. Two girls, one cup of Goyam School of Business. What's a Goyam School of Business? It's where people get Stanford knowledge spoon fed to them at the 7th grade level. Why didn't they just read this out of a book? No judgments, no pressure, no onus for you to even like yourself. Because Stanford, they're giving you this knowledge for free at the 7th grade level. Me, I'm going to require you to be 7th grade competent. You see, Stanford says 7th grade, and then people get super intimidated because that's intimidating. That's intimidating. Where you could do the hot girl thing of saying one word. This is what we're going to do, which is we're going to get our lives turned around. This is the Goyam School of Business. I'm sorry that I'm using Yiddish. I am fluent in American. What's American? American is two girls, one cup of knowledge. What about degrees do you have? This is the degree of GSB, Goyam School of Business, with a JBA. What's a JBA, Larry? That would be a Jewish Business Administration. I have a GBA. A GBA! Oh my God. These jokes just write themselves. Okay, I get it, you're lost. I was answering questions while introducing two girls, one cup of Goyam School of Business. Two girls, one cup, there's a problem with it. People throw up and shit into a cup that you have to eat. That's 2026. How does that diarrhea taste? I'm going to guess that it doesn't taste very good. This is what we're talking about is you're living in a simulation. It's called two girls, one cup of everything is fake and super gay. This is you having to go to Hebrew school because you are now going to be fondled at Hebrew school. I can't make this up. but you and I will never meet. This is the following that we're building, which is two girls, one cup of GSB. Two girls, one cup of GSB. Thank you for your mental well wishes. Come back better after your timeout. Just come back better after your timeout. But thank you for juicing my algorithm. Juice, 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 my algorithm. Cheers. Cheers to your juicage. Two girls, one cup of knowledge. Simply put, going to Stanford and paying us $275,000 in real cash, but for you debt, it's going to be burdensome for you. It's going to be burdensome from you even if you graduated from Harvard, which I do believe because I'm incredibly gullible and trustworthy and trusting. Not trustworthy. I'm trusting. Oops. Oops. I'm trustworthy. I'm gullible. When you go into debt, if you went to Harvard, you're going to feel burdened. This video solves it in bullet points. In fact, the next two bullet points are going to solve it, which are this: return on investment for GSB before Goyam School of Business. What's a Goyam School of Business? Goyam is where you're allowed to treat Goyam horribly because they're Goyam. This is why Two Girls, One Cup is a business model, because it's two girls treating each other poorly. If you're in yesterday's video, the school for women, it was women treating women poorly. And when women treat other women poorly, what happens is a video gets made. It's called Two Girls, One Cup. LSD Dreams 808 has said, Larry, you're a legend. I appreciate you, but what I more appreciate is your ability to laugh with me, because Two Girls, One Cup, it's a hilarious video. Oh, 7th grade is very intimidating. I wish the content could elevate, not my content. My content's slightly above the 7th grade. Slightly above. What degree do I have? I have a bachelor in science and engineering. Let's go. Promoting people as I read people. Promoting people. Cesar Corto, 1995. The degree I have is a bachelor in science in engineering, specifically mechanical engineering. First job in chemical engineering, because they overlap by 2/3. Let's go. We're not gonna assume, but we kind of sometimes assume an engineering degree. Point number 3. Let's say you don't have an engineering degree and you still want to financially benefit from this video, because starfish, right? Because starfish. Why starfish? Why did I draw starfish? Why starfish? It's because it's deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge, deeply understanding duck, D-U-C-K, deeply understanding Chinese knowledge, deeply understanding how to do a turnaround. A turnaround such as the bank is willing to give you an Econo Lodge because the bank took it over, and now the business is actually worth less money than $0. That's why there are homes in Greece and Italy that you can have for $6. It's because the home itself is worth negative money. How about you? Are you worth negative money? No worries. If you have negative money, let's turn you from a neg, look at all the neg, into a POS. A neg into a pause. Neg into a pause. Oh my God. That would be the right arm of my starfish, which is doing a turnaround. Oh, green tea is delicious. Guess who's joining us? Guess who's joining us? Ta-da! Ta-da! I'm not pulling rabbits out of a hat. I'm pulling a Shih Tzu. I'm pulling a Shih Tzu out to talk about. Yes, this video assumes that you have an engineering degree, but let's say we're honest with ourselves, and some of all y'all who are at the 7th grade level, who are 2 years into college, but actually 7 years away from graduating your exact 4 year degree. Some people's brains got broken during COVID. Some people's got brain breakage after they got suckered into taking the vaccine. Some people's brains are in a whirling milkshake. This is us doing Two Girls, One Cup of Goyim School of Business, which is these things are going to sound like a joke. Why? Because we're flippantly self-improving. We're coming to a head. Why? Because you may not realize it, we're not voting our way out of this. There is no, and I know that this is American concentric because you're still ruled by the US dollar. So I'm sorry that America is number 2 in the world. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is going to be American based. Go from number 2 to number 1. Let's go from number 2 to hopefully still at number 2. Because when empires fail, it drops like a rock. Have you looked around your city? If it looks like a third world shithole that is trying to destroy itself, now you understand why Indian and Pakistani people try to literally blow up their streets and rivers. Thank you for making me drink out of a plastic straw, Indian people and Pakistani people. Thank you for making me drink out of a paper straw. Paper straw. Oh, we don't want plastic in the oceans. Meow, 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 meow. The Goyim School of Business. It's being able to turn around a piece of trash. We've talked in depth about turning around a dumpster. We've talked in prior videos about getting rid of graffiti. We've talked in technicolor detail about a waste management dumpster and being able to turn that around. Now, the genius component in that is this. Once you get started, there is no stopping you. Once you get started, you can't be stopped. Why? Because of this simple fact. An external API is unstoppable by definition because the API is coming from outside of the house. The API is coming from outside of the company. So API is Application Protocol Interface. The API isn't just software, and software ate the world. The API is also a can of paint or a bottle of kids' paint that's green. I'm not joking when I say a bottle of green children's paint can turn around a dumpster. The reason I'm talking about fixing a garbage can that you don't own is you're living in a garbage can that you don't own. And I'm not talking about your house. You actually live in a pretty nice house. I'm talking about your surroundings are going to become shittier and shittier. There's a word for it. It's the most popular word in 2025. It's called enshittification. It's the shittying of everything, enshittification. That's what this video solves because Two Girls, One Cup, whoa, if you ever watched it. But Two Girls, One Cup of GSB is realizing we're all Goyim compared to Jewish people. Let's make the best of it in the Goyim School of Business. This is how we're going to financially benefit because an external API, and this is all the value of the video in case you're distracted and are itching to toggle off. This is all the value, which is guacamole recipe number 23 out of the book of business called the 1983 Book of Signature Business Recipes, doled out by Mark McCormack, my mentor. What Mark McCormack taught is you don't need permission from the golf tour to start a business called the Senior Golf Tour. How many times have you heard people say, oh, look, it's Brokeback Mountain. Oh, look, it's John Wang. When you say Brokeback Mountain, I'm thinking Brokeback Waffle Motel. Brokeback Waffle Motel. When people say something, Two Girls, One Cup, they're trying to put diarrhea and make you eat it. Have you been on your doom scroll before? It's a bunch of people trying to make your brain eat brain rot. This is not brain rot. This is Two Girls, One Cup of Goyim School of Business. Is this the third GSB? It is. Because the original GSB, that's University of Chicago. Second GSB is Stanford, Stanford, Stanford. Stanford. Stanford, Stanford, Stanford. Stanford, Stanford, Stanford. That's GSB 2. GSB 3 is done by institution number 3. That is now institution number 1. That's the Goyim School of Business. We are, in essence, doing something called product management. Every one of these videos has been a product management video. What is product management? It's basically tech sales. What is product management? It's a book by Dan Olson that I'm constantly reading from and quoting pages from. Why are we talking about product management? Because, Larry, this is supposed to be about business school, Harvard Business School. Why are we talking about product management? It's because all of the jobs, super majority of the jobs, when you graduate HBS, GSB for the next 10 years, are going to be product management based. It's been going from 5-10% product management jobs, graduating from Harvard Business School or Stanford Business School, to 80%. Let me repeat the math. It's going from 5, 6, 8, 10%, not 10%, 5, 6, some single digit percent, to 80+% of graduates are going to work in product management. Wall Street, no. Consulting, also no. Because who wants to pay somebody $300K? Yeah. That's just why it's product management. Let's say you don't believe macroeconomics. Let's say you can't look at a chart because you can't read a chart. you can't argue with the fact that product management via avoiding bankruptcy is the de facto two cups, one girl of Goyam School of Business, which is the flagship, which maybe you don't like my style. Maybe you love my style. Maybe you don't think that a person who's University of Illinois has the wherewithal to be the number one person in entrepreneurship education at a school called Stanford, Harvard, Wharton. Maybe you're from a stratus where you're thinking that the world is stratified because you're in a third world Pakistani Indian environment, or worse, you're in the new third class. You used to be in the middle class. That would call you yourselves a middle class American. How strong and clear is my voice? How strong and clear is it? Because I'm telling you that you're in danger. Let's have a good time because I care about you in avoiding this bankruptcy with no bankruptcy filing. Why are you bankrupt without a bankruptcy filing? That's because you don't have any assets. All you have is debt. And the debt that you have, you can't discharge via bankruptcy. Who wrote the laws to say that you can't bankrupt school debt or student debt? Think about that. That's the whole idea of bankruptcy is you discharge your debts and then you protect your assets and then you restart. There is no restarting this dumpster fire known as the United States of America. There's no restart, there's no reset. There is only the base layer of let's make the best of this situation. This is the Goyam School of Business, is powered via product management. First of all, congratulate yourself because that cold intro, that cold open, it was jaw-droppingly amazing. Larry, you filthy animal, good morning. Oh, you don't know the half of it. Larry, that's actually impressive. What was impressive? I thought the starfish was two girls, one cup of GSB. The flagship class that we are reverse engineering is Triumvirate. It's STRAM GT 353. The flagship class that we're doing is this. This is the flagship class. There is no link on down below. There is no inner sanctum. There is no secret society. There's just this GSB 3. GSB, Goyam School of Business. Graduate School of Business, that's Hyde Park. University of Chicago, where's my keynote invite? Where? Because guess what? Irv Grousbeck, he's not leaving his $8 million house that Stanford gave him. It's not going to leave it. I won't leave it. Why? Because it's here. I can just do it via Zoom and YouTube. What am I doing? I'm doing a video. It's called Two Girls, One Cup of GSB. There's nothing other than this video. This is the flagship class. This flagship class is powered by 3 classes that I edited to turn into something amazing. Harvard Business School 6534. Harvard Business School 6452. Wharton, I don't know the class number because fuck, it's Wharton. Ditto, University of California, Irvine. Do you know how hard it is to say with a straight face? Software Engineering 277P, University of California, Irvine. That's how deep I penetrate the inner sanctums of sanctimoniousness. Yeah, I've picked up a few things. What have you picked up? Roger that. There are some nuggets. Bankruptcy works for the elite. You use a lot of jargon and vague language. It's hard for most people to understand what you're saying. Okay, but the language that I'm using is Goyam School of Business. I dumbed it down. Look at me. I'm wearing a fucking cowboy hat in a YouTube stream with fewer than 30 people. Like, be any dumber. I can't dumb it down further than that. And no, I won't explain it to you like you're five. This goes down to the seventh grade level. This goes down to the seventh grade level. But but here's the thing, is that a 5-year-old would actually really like this. No consent to watch this video if you're five. Are you five? Don't be weird. At least you talk like you're in the seventh grade. Because I'm not very economically minded. This is me telling it to you as simple as I possibly can. Don't hate the messenger. We're in the Roman Empire. Don't hate the messenger. All we're doing is software engineering 277p. I wanted to call this video Chinese Entrepreneurship Before Harvard and Stanford. It's helpful if you have an engineering degree, but remember, if you don't have a college degree and you want things explained to you like you're five, this is actually the video for you, because the words and terminologies such as product management, if those are uncomfortable words for you, write down this hashtag and it will explode inside your pussy the same way that 2 girls, 1 cup of GSP is going to germinate not a food baby, but a business baby. It's called hashtag PRODMGMNT. And since I'm having an orgasm inside your brain, I'll give you another one. Orgasm, I mean, which is hashtag StramGT353. And let's say you're paralyzed and you're trying to multitask. You weren't in my video yesterday because women have a hard time. Women have a hard time. Women have a hard time. The reason women have a hard time is you're currently trying to multitask this video. You're not treating this video like it's the most important video you'll ever come across. You're not even trying to bond with it. You're trying to poke holes in it. There are no holes to be poked. I'm the one doing the poking. This is 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business. Goyam. It's the lowest of the low. It's Jewish people calling other people Goyam. I'm a Goyam. Are you a Goyam? Hashtag S. There, you missed the hashtag. You missed the hashtag. The reason the hashtag is important. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you. The Incel School of Business. Nobody's gonna believe that I'm celibate. So people are barely understanding that I'm Goyam, because as king of the Jews, telling Jews, yo, you're fucking up, people barely believe that. You should believe all of it because I'm telling you the truth. If your message is held for review, you're not getting past the lowest of filters. So just rewrite that, because I want to see what you're saying. It's just filtered. And it's not going to get unfiltered. How do you get filtered by the gayest filter ever? Exactly. Which is product management hashtags. This is all the value of this video. Again, when I said hashtag, you thought I was saying exclamation point, but I was actually saying hashtag. Is this me talking to you like you're both college and 5 years old at the same time? Because when I said hashtag, you heard that word as exclamation point. Because when you hear it as an exclamation point, you're not hearing it for what it is. And I caught you. You got sloppy with the tags. What is sloppy with the tags? Is you're running the wrong route. You're like one of those black wide receivers who says to the black quarterback, "Why are you an Uncle Tom?" We're not an Uncle Tom. We're telling you the play and the details matter, which is you run for 1.9 seconds and then you cut. You don't wait for 3 seconds. You don't wait for 1.2 seconds. You run for 1.9 seconds and then you cut. This is the hard A school of business. This is not the hard R school of business. This is the Goyim school of business. Because when you run a route as a wide receiver, you run for 1.9 seconds. I'm throwing the ball at 1.72 seconds because when you cut, the ball's going to be on top of you and you're not going to be surprised because we talked about this during this play. 62, 64, 67, turbo hike. That is, you run 1.9 seconds, I throw the ball at 1.72 seconds. That way, the wide receiver, who's being covered by a defensive back, will be separated from the person who's defending you. Have you heard? There's no defending against what Larry Chang does. Have you seen that when you read the gossip about Larry Chang? People even joked, can't stop, won't stop, Chang stop. Why won't he stop? We've mitigated his algorithm. Why won't he stop? He's not reaching any people. Can't stop, won't stop, Chang stop. Because if this message hits the algorithm and one person sees it, I've won. Why? Because you can't stop these truths. When you run 1.9 seconds, you know something that your defender doesn't know, which is we had a meeting about this. It's called a huddle. You see, during a huddle, players plan. What this is an NFL huddle. Hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Hut hut. Turbo hike. This is an NFL huddle. This is a high school huddle. This is a dad conversation. Your dad should have told you this shit, but your dad took off. But good job, because the only people watching here are people in a mentally positive state with a healthy dad. Look around. Everybody here has a dad. Why do all the people with no dad, why did they all take off? Why did they all take off? This is why. It's because this seems like I'm your daddy. And when you look at a man who's 6 years younger than you as your daddy, you're broken. But that's okay because you're Goyim. This is the Goyim School of Business. This is why I help people who help themselves. I wanted to call this video Chinese Entrepreneurship Before Harvard Business School. Because if you're not getting into both Harvard and Stanford, your brain's broken because you didn't watch a Larry Chang video called The GMAT Doesn't Help You Get Rich, Larry Chang Helps You Get Rich. And when you're rich, it's like that random hot girl who throws vagina at you and you're like, did I even match with you on Tinder Bumble? And she's like, no, I just came to your fucking office. I just came to your office. Why is she coming to your office? Because you aced the Goyim School of Business. you aced a book that nobody reads. It's called the Mark McCormack What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. That shit's for $1. That's how I taught at Stanford. I read a book that I bought for 1 cent. Think about that. That rubs people the wrong way. Why? Because I am an affront to why are there not more minorities as VCs? Well, because they can't go to the fucking library. Product Management is a book at Stanford GSB. It's written by my friend Dan Olson. He has a strong dad, Dan Olson. When I was doing some super legendary shit called John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang, Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, Dan Olson was like, oh my God, let me help you do reverse VC. What is reverse VC? It's straight out of the Goyam School of Business. Not to say that a Jewish VC screwed me, because you can't screw Larry Chang, because your fuck energy turns into positive energy. That's how Christian I am. Let's drop a quick prayer. Father, Lord, thank you for morning Christian time. Thank you for the Goyam School of Business. Lord, thank you also for my wonderful brain, because you can't suppress this. It's going to be amazing because it's currently amazing. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Running dangerously low on green tea. Running dangerously low on green tea. This is 2 girls, 1 cup of GSB knowledge. Goyam School of Business. What's a Goyam? What's a Goyam, Larry? What's a Goyam? We're building Goyam to Goyam networks. What's a Goyam? I think it's Jewish slander for what a Chinese person is or a white person is. And if the word Jewish intimidates you, that's okay, because I'm the guy who came up with a JBA, Jewish Business Administration. It's also a Jedi in Business Administration. Larry, are you joking? I am not joking about 2 jokes that sound like a joke. I'm trying to meet people that are going to be successful. People that would have been successful even without me. Those are people with strong dads that have an engineering degree. You don't even have to be Chinese. You could be any person. It's a joke that I taught at Stanford with a book from 1983, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. One thing, it's also sounds like a joke, which is the Senior Golf Tour. You don't need permission of the golf tour to do 1 word. Senior Golf Tour. Ditto, ditto. Ditto, Brokeback Mountain and Resort. Ditto, which is also Brokeback Waffle Motel. Ditto, Senior Golf Tour. Ditto, 2 girls, 1 cup. The reason all these sound like jokes is this is the 5,000th time I've told this exact same joke. It's just organized in a slightly new way. I had a dream about this last night, which is 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business. What's a JBA? A Jedi in Business Administration is where you say, hey, Larry, I'm an engineer. Will you write a recommendation letter for me? Because if you recommend me into Stanford, I'll be slammed into Stanford, and then I'm going to go to Harvard because I want to be a dual admit. Dual admit is like a 2-sport athlete. And then I asked, well, why don't you want to be a quad admit? And they're like, what's a quad admit? This is the inner sanctum of Harvard, Stanford, Stanford, Harvard, via the 3rd institution of Silicon Valley, Larry Chang, explaining to you what a Jedi in Business Administration is. A Jedi in business administration is where you say, hey, I'm an engineer. I don't want to lose the $650,000 that I'm currently getting paid for 10 hours worth of work just to go to business school. I don't want to do that, Larry. What do I do? What do I do? Or I don't want to quit baseball, basketball. I want to go to business school and get my life going. I'm still in the minor leagues. I study in engineering. Larry, what do I do? What you do is you ask yourself the simplest of questions, which is what one or two classes or three classes do you want to take at this business school that's going to charge you $300,000? Maybe your math's not very good, but that means each class you're going to be spending about $100,000 on. When I ask this question, what do you want to learn from Stanford? 100% of the people have zero answer because that's not how people think. They think if I go to Stanford, I can put it on my LinkedIn. And once I put it on my LinkedIn, people are just going to throw money at me. That is fake. That is gay. Enter Reid Hoffman. Enter Fernando Mendoza. Enter Larry Chang. I'm Larry Chang. My channel's on what they don't teach you in school. I'm not going to refer you to a video, nor will I be posting the link on down below, nor will I be asking you to like or subscribe. Why? Because I use LinkedIn as my dating app. When you come full circle with dating apps aren't functioning, LinkedIn is functioning as a dating app. Everything is topsy-turvy. Why are you getting more value from a butt-ass early 5 a.m. in Palo Alto video than you are from your Harvard Business School, Wharton School of Business, Stanford, GSB, the original one at University of Chicago? Why are you getting more value here than you are at your actual school? Because Dan Olson, reverse VC. This whole thing only gets kicked off if you can leave the number 0. That's Dan Olson. He left 0 because he cheered me on with my franchise, reverse VC. If Dan Olson does not cheer me on with reverse VC, he doesn't fuck around with, oh my God, I should do something retarded too. That's Goyam School of Business is, quote, Larry, I should do something retarded too. This is also chapter 69 of Warren Buffett's book, Faux Franchise, is you gotta do something retarded. When you don't do something retarded and you're trying to sound smart, you sound like you're doing Jugad. This video is the most amazing video that in the history of video. What is Jugad? It sounds like you're doing a pyramid scheme. It sounds like you're doing a Ponzi. This sounds like a pyramid and a Ponzi because you're negative. But if you're positive, you're like, oh my God, this is a Ponzi, but it's with a Chinese guy at the top of a Ponzi. Ponzi is an Italian guy. This is the Ponzi model. This is the Goyam School of Business. This is Jewish people doing business, which is a Ponzi scheme. I'm not going to look up if Ponzi was Jewish, but let's just assume that he was doing some pretty Jewish things, which is the Jewish School of Business. The guy who stole a ton of money, who used to run NASDAQ. Anyway, he was taking new investments and paying prior investors in a pump and dump, in a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi relies on greater fools to bring in fresh money. That is not this, because This, the Goyam School of Business, has a fundamental truth. You're welcome, which is you don't need money to make money. You see, this is Chinese entrepreneurship knowledge before GSB. This is Chinese entrepreneurship knowledge before HBS, because this is deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge, deeply understanding Chinese knowledge. Doing turnarounds, that's the right arm. When you're doing Chinese knowledge, you're going to go to business school and then you're going to say, "Oh my god, I could have just learned this shit at home. I've got a ancient grandfather. He says all this same shit." This is why this video is confusing to people, because it's simultaneously old and new at the same time. Because I'm recording this on January 23rd. I'm acing this video. Why? Because not to say that everything old is new again, but the things that I researched within the Goyam School of Business are going to be applicable during this Great Depression. This is the problem. This is the problem. This script's amazing. DEI affected Harvard and Stanford. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Not DEI Larry Chang, which is a defensively excellent infielder. That's how I got into college, being defensively excellent. Here's the problem, is that GSB, also University of Chicago, it got decimated because black people and retarded people were failing. Have you been to a school where the black and retarded people stay retarded and stay kind of black, right? Trying to make black people successful has been the downfall of institutions. This is why you are not my first black friend. Every black guy says, you're the first one. Because if you have enough black people, they're going to scream for communism. Why? Because that's why Africa has never invented anything since time or Africa started. And I'm pretty sure that those pyramids, they were created by an ancient civilization. This is why you can't do research into what's below the pyramids. Problem, DEI. Even during a communist system, and make no mistake about it, the United States has been living in a socialist construct since 1971. Because when there's a central bank, that's default socialism. What is a central bank? It's neither federal nor is there reserve. It's a cabal. It's a crime syndicate. It's a methodology to wage endless war because you are in control of the central bank. So instead of being paralyzed with black pill, instead of being paralyzed with removing your moderator. Not timing you out though. And you think that the Jews only existed before, no. You can say whatever you want. You're just exposing yourself for being temporarily retarded. I'll pin your message. Are you happy? This is a JBA, a Jedi in Business Administration. This is two girls, one cup of GSB knowledge. Because Goyam School of Business. Because Harvard, they lowered their standards from $150 million to $1.5 million. What's $150 million? That's search fund. Because let me get this straight. You're the best of the best of the best, Harvard, Stanford. And you're going to keep people from trying to raise $150 million because certain ethnicities succeed 0%? Isn't the whole reason that you did DEI was to give everyone an opportunity? But when you gave everyone an opportunity and those people all failed, now what? Are you going to make the curriculum worse? And Harvard, Stanford, Wharton were like, yes, let's make the curriculum worse. That's where we won again with what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. They used to teach you at Harvard Business School. I know. So that's how you benefit, is you learn what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School that they used to teach you at Harvard Business School. Let's say these words are all super intimidating. You've been super patient. Now that you understand who I am, understand what I'm doing. What I'm doing is you can do a business turnaround. You don't have to fundraise $150 million. This is where I thought that Stanford, Harvard were going to do, because how do you not see that software is eating the world? And you're going to try to do money? Money is not real. Money got eaten. It got eaten by software. You're not actually poor. You're just a goyim, and you have scarcity mindset because you talk a lot. But you don't ever take notes. That's why this video is the most important video you've ever watched, because you're going to go find a piece of paper and you're going to go find a pen and you're going to understand 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business. This video is going to be private. You get this video and you can benefit. Why? Because people aren't going to know what 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business is. You don't need money to make money. This video itself, transcribed with a video report, meaning you write 12 to 80 sentences about what you learned here, you should be able to sell that to HBS GSP people for $100. Why? Here's the problem, is Harvard, Stanford, they're charging people $300,000. But those people, after they graduate, they're going to be graduating into the Great Depression with no job, now saddled with debt that they can't discharge. What we're doing here is focusing your masculine energy to say Larry Chang is the vagina whisperer. Why can't you use your testosterone as a 5'2" male and fix your brain? Because when you're able to talk incessantly, you're showing who you are. And this is who you could be. You could be profitable by the end of this video. What you're missing is the ability to profit from one YouTube video to another YouTube video. Watching another 7,000 videos, that's not going to help. I bought a trailer for $150,000. Now I owe $300,000. Come back better. Come back better. Come back better. Hey, to make sure that we're not a robot, Why don't you tell me something that you see in the background? Come back better when you're no longer a robot. Come back better. 60-second timeout. That's a full timeout. What we're in essence doing is using this video to get return on investment prior to investing dollar number one. Did you get that? Do you need me to repeat that? I'll repeat it. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get return on investment for all $300,000 before you spend dollar number one. So this is the fact that if you were to go and transfer from Ole Miss to Stanford, it would take you 30 years to graduate a 4-year engineering degree. What fraternity were you in at Ole Miss? Because Kappa Kappa Gamma, Mississippi, I rest my case. Doing a turnaround of a business, you see, you don't need money to make money. This is Search Fund. This is Search Fund. This is Harvard Stanford. You fundraise $150 million by telling your investors, I'm going to go buy a business and turn it around. The investors say, what prior experience do you have? Oh, I'm at Harvard Stanford. They'll look at you and say, what industry are you going to positively affect? Along with the typical PE VC questions, what domain expertise do you have? What's your investment thesis? And half the people would raise $150 million. And then some minorities and retarded people who shouldn't even be at Harvard, Stanford, they would never raise money because the investors are like, I know you. Stanford only let you in because of your skin color. I don't want to invest in you. Somebody claimed racism. Stanford, Harvard, Wharton decided to do something about it, which is make the wall of work lower. I thought that I lowered the wall of work to be the lowest. Why? I lowered it to $0. All you need to do is run external APIs. By lowering it to $1.5 million, you're lowering it to infinity. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me because you're forcing the student to think that you need money at business school to buy a business, where you're not crossing over to the law school, which is Larry Lessig, copyright. Okay, that was the most genius thing that has ever been said in the history of YouTube. Why? Because the old days, the 2009, 2015, it was, you have to raise $150 million. This is why Silicon Valley and Boston are frowned upon. This is why the Great Depression is never talked about. Because New York, Boston, and Stanford, they're standing right next to the Federal Reserve money printer. Who has $150 million to just dole out? That would be people standing super close to the printer for money. React to something that I said versus you, because that's why you're unemployed, where your wife makes $200K. I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't get it. Score! That was a 3-ball. That was a 3-ball. That was a 3-ball. When Harvard, Stanford, Wharton lowered their standards from $150 million bar of fundraising to 1.5, you should have just lowered it to 0. Because if you would have lowered it to 0, would now be zero excuse. This is what I did in 2013, 2016. Basically 10 years ago. I did this 10 years ago. This is why I'm excited to tell you. Because you get an arbitrage. You get this information before other people are going to say, let's do it Larry Chang's way, him and his cowboy hat. I know he's heterosexual and Caucasian, but he's just that good. We're going to have to bring him in. Plus, I'm pretty sure he's heterosexual and Caucasian. I know we have too many heterosexuals teaching and Caucasians. This is why you can't keep the information suppressed. Why? Because I don't want to come teach at your poverty program, okay? I don't want to be teaching next to a person with a nose ring and blue hair, okay? I have been able to avoid ugliness. I don't like ugliness. Look at me. I'm surrounded by cute shit. Cute shit everywhere. Oh, do you want to be Whitney Wolf? I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaires. Batting 1,000. Do you want to be a blonde billionaire? Why is it only blondes that are going to listen to this? Oh my God. 2 girls, 1 cup of girl school of business. The girl school of business. GGSB. I got to write that down. What's GGSB? That's the Girl Goyam School of Business. Preferably older than 22, younger than 23. Preferably. Larry, when you taught at Stanford, how many undergrads did you sleep with? 0. Don't ask me about Cal. Don't ask me about Cal because Brokeback Mountain. What's Brokeback Mountain? I turned it around. It used to be gay and gay. I turned around Brokeback Mountain to be Brokeback Waffle Motel. Have you been to the Brokeback Waffle Motel? Have you been to the Brokeback Waffle Motel? Have you been? It's pretty good. You're going to have to create it. Larry, how am I going to create a Brokeback Waffle Motel? You go to the bank and you say, oh, do you have 100 businesses that are bankrupt? You don't need money to make money. This is Search Fund. This is Chapter 17, Edition 5. Because in Edition 6, the bankruptcy chapter got removed. We're still talking about 2 girls, 1 cup of knowledge. Who quit this? Who quit this? 11/6/24. Who quit? Our journey together, my ass. I saw that shit show coming. And then when the Israeli national anthem got played, I was like, this is a shit show. Why is this inauguration party have a foreign country's national anthem getting played? Goyam! It's edition number 5. Chapter 17, Lecture 11, Collateral Default Rope to Choke, Chapter 17, Bankruptcy. This book is less than $200. You can buy a $300,000 bill used on Amazon. I bought these books for $3. The book that I just dropped, it was called New Business Ventures and the Entrepreneur. That was edition 5. Edition 6, how deep inside baseball, inside Stanford, inside Harvard are we going? We're going all the way up to the G spot, which is right behind the hood. This is the hood. Edition 6. Edition 6 of New Business Ventures and the Entrepreneur, we're still on the same class number. We're still on the same class number. We're still on the same class number. This book is $2. Larry, how big are your hands? Because you make those ginormous textbooks seem like playing cards. I'm 6'5", I weigh 235. I've got some A game. The A game that I'm running is I know the difference between edition 5 and edition 6. Who knows Stanford entrepreneurship knowledge better? Anybody at Stanford or Larry Chang? This is why you can call it toxic. I call it competence. You can call heterosexuality deviant. I am deviant because I will do some dark heterosexual shit where I will make first base more powerful than all the other bases combined. It's because first base, I can do some amazing things with first base. First base is kissing. True story, I can make a girl come 20 times in the GGSB. You see, I don't give a fuck about your political correctness. That's why everything's fake and gay right now. And I realize I'm saying this with a starfish that's pink that lights up, while I have another starfish that's lighting up behind me. But what you're understanding is this. My videos on what they don't teach you in school. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'll just call you 1975. Boomer in the house. Welcome. How are you? When you say you're a pipe fitter, that's allowed because this video is called 2 Girls, 1 Cup of GSB Knowledge. $150 million. Let's lower the bar for the people that are waving a flag saying, can you lower the bar for us? Can you lower the bar for us? I want the bar lowered. Cool. Not cool. I lowered the bar to 0. By lowering the bar to 0, it's actually a higher bar than $1.5 million. This is what I'm talking about. When you buy a business for $1.5 million, you are guaranteed to go bankrupt. And I'm not talking about 100% bankrupt. I'm talking about 130% bankrupt. Why? Bankruptcy is a sinkhole. It drags everything down with it. Have you heard that when you're a lifeguard, you could die when you're going to swim out to save somebody? You could die. Why? Because the person who's drowning, the first thing they do when they're met up with a lifeguard is they try to drown the lifeguard. They're not doing this voluntarily. They're doing it involuntarily. Why? Because they're underwater and they can't breathe. They might even be 2 milliseconds away from death. The lifeguard needs to drag them in their lifeless body that's currently fighting everything to try to get a breath of oxygen. That person is like a person who's going bankrupt. Is you're going to try to save not yourself, you're going to try to drown the person trying to save you. This is why I never want to meet up with you. This is why I never want to have a phone conversation. My text lines are open, 650-283-8008. But I don't want an IRL teaching gig. Why? Because have you ever seen a person drowning? They're trying to kill the lifeguard. They're trying to drown the lifeguard. That's why the bankruptcy rate goes above 100%. Have you heard the phrase called, you never throw good money after bad? Because the good money is safe. The bad money, it's a suck hole. Have you ever heard that business is a suck hole for money? Have you ever heard a person that says, oh yeah, my wife's brother, he's retarded, he's a suck hole for money? That's what happens when somebody drowns or goes bankrupt, is you suck other people with you. I'm an expert in getting sucked. That's why this video is called Two Girls, One Cup of GSB Knowledge. Because my milkshake straw, it's not so long that I'm going to suck your gasoline, okay? Because it turns out there is limitless fossil fuel. It's limitless. It's literally unlimited. There's no milkshake sucking. No need to steal another person's oil. North America has more oil, fossil fuels, than Saudi Arabia. Sucking. It's not sucking and more sucking. It's you can stop sucking when you get off of zero. This whole thing hinges around, can you leave the number zero? That's why I'm #1 in entrepreneurship education at Stanford, because all the other education centers around this economic fact. 50 million to billions and billions. What is 50 million to billions and billions? That's startup coverage. That's startup advice. That's startup rhetoric. That's not a startup. It's already at $50 million. So when you read advice about entrepreneurship via the books, 5th edition and the 6th edition, because the book is literally called New Business Ventures and the Entrepreneur, you're not being honest about $0. When you're honest about $0, you're now understanding that 99.5% of podcasts about entrepreneurship or books about entrepreneurship, they're not honest about this true fact, which is $0 is almost impossible to escape. You can try to escape it with faking it till you make it. Have you ever heard that? That doesn't work because your VC is going to cause you to go bankrupt 80-90% of the time. This is why I'm the #1 best institution of Silicon Valley. And I'm not saying this as a joke. Y Combinator, the bankruptcy rate is spectacular. You're about to see a spectacular OpenAI failure. I called that shit with the 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK 5 days before Michael Burry, who wrote an essay on November 5, November 13, November 15. Do you want to practice on a cadaver? Let's go. Larry, you have so much energy. I really dig your vibe. Are you being serious right now? Because you're hilarious. Yeah, this is actually day number 84. This is day 84. This is day number 84. You're fucking welcome. And the fact that you've written down nothing, but then your jaw's on the ground where you're like, oh my God, this is the most genius video ever. Pick up a pen. Pick up a pen. You've just met your first Chinese friend. I never want to meet you. I never want to hang out with you, but I'm your first friend. Admit it. Admit it. And this is also reverse sugar daddy. So, when you're trying to drown the person who is trying to save you, that's sugar daddy. Because here's a thesis, which, why am I the only one who understands this? Maybe you're just coming into this video. This is who I am. I'm the person who discovered that your sugar daddy is causing you to go bankrupt. And then who said it right after I said it? Because we thought the same thing. That would be Shelby Sapp. Shelby like the Mustang, sap like tree sap. Shelby Sapp. She also said your sugar daddy is causing you to go bankrupt. When I say hashtag, if you think exclamation point, you're losing. What are you losing? You're losing this hashtag, which you should write down and profit from, because you can profit from other people's mistakes. That's OPM, OPE, profiting from other people's money, other people's mistakes, other people's experience, which is today is day 84 of hashtag, not an exclamation point, it's a hashtag, 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK. When you help someone else avoid bankruptcy, you can profit while risking no money. Let me repeat that. When you're ducking bankruptcy, oh my God, I have a starfish. Here I am looking for a starfish. Deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge, PE is also VC, deeply understanding Chinese knowledge, deeply understanding a turnaround. Hashtag 26 days of OpenAI ducking bankruptcy. Today, January 23rd, is day number 84, which is hashtag 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK. Deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge. Have you met Larry the Starfish? Have you met Larry the Starfish? You're welcome to screenshot it. I'm even going to transfer you the IP. Deeply understanding Chinese knowledge, deeply understanding turnarounds. What you're doing with a hashtag is you are realizing when your message is held for review, that means you're so filtered that the woke filter is filtering your filter. So when your filter is getting filtered, that's not a good thing. Why don't you restate your question so that way it won't get filtered? Your sugar daddy causing you to go bankrupt is genius and hilarious. Because what comes next is the government is your sugar daddy. What comes next? Price controls. What comes next? You're going to try to vote your way out of an economic solution. This is not going to work. While the world burns, you can benefit. It's not that you're causing the world to burn. I told the world to not burn. Why didn't they just make me president? Because who understands bankruptcy super well? That would be the president's Treasury Secretary Mnuchin under Trump 55. Mnuchin, he was Treasury Secretary. What was his background before? Because we're still talking about new business ventures and the entrepreneur, which is what he did before was he was bankruptcy attorney for Goldman Sachs. All the debt could have been wiped out because that's what a bankruptcy attorney does, is wipes out all the debt and then restructures. We're really good at restructuring. During Trump's first term, not going to say that this book cost $4,000, but it cost $4,000. In the first term of Trump, you could have wiped out the debt because the economic hitman, he doesn't have to live or even visit the United States. Have you heard of that book from the 1970s? Confessions of an Economic Hitman? This is not Confessions of an Economic Hitman. This is the pleadings of a Chinese cowboy who is the number one most American in America. Why am I the number one American, and why am I the number one institution of Silicon Valley? Because just like yesterday's school for women, why am I the only one talking about this? Why? I'm literally retarded telling you how some really basic questions to ask. Super basic questions. They're super basic, which is, will you save yourself? You're a starfish. You think you're a dolphin because you're too video gamey, and dolphins, they get high on pufferfish. Why? Because your average dolphin spends 13 minutes per day hunting for food and eating it. That's it. How much time do you spend eating food and hunting for food? You spend nearly 15 hours per day. There are almost not enough hours in a day for you to feed and clothe and house yourself, right? That's why everyone's so stressed with anxiety. You don't have anxiety. You have the malaise of understanding that the Federal Reserve is neither federal nor has anything in reserve. And software is eating the world. A lot of forces are coming at you. Why didn't we just install Larry Chang? This is your advantage. You can install my programming. My programming, it's called 2 Girls, 1 Cup of Goyim School of Business. Okay, that's hilarious on 10 levels, but it's also true. It's hilarious and it's true. This is also true. It's AI, AGI. How Brokeback Mountain am I? How Brokeback Mountain am I? How Brokeback? Because it's not Brokeback Mountain. That's gay, and you can quit you. I can't quit you. The dude did quit you because he got too into his Joker role for the sequel. Plus, this is the thing that gay Israelis won't tell you, is that eventually you age out of being gay in the West Bank or Beirut. You age out of it, if you're lucky, depending on when it happened to you. This is the Goyim school for bisexuality. Oh my God. This video is the most genius video ever created. Because that was not a side quest. This is me doing a turnaround of Jewishness. Who's running the Jew PR right now? Why don't we have Larry Chang be installed as King of the Jews in doing the Jew PR turnaround? The PR, it's not looking good right now because someone just admitted to everything. Turnarounds. Do you need to turn this video around? No. The value of the video was delivered an hour ago. This is more value on top of value, more value, more value. Are you getting a lot of value? Undeniably, here's more value. VCPELP via an external API. So, remember when I said you don't need money to make money? What you need are VC douchey strategies and the VC introductions. That's Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang. That's John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. This is financial advice, which is you can use AI to simulate AI, AGI. AI, AGI, of course, is American intelligence, Asian guy intelligence. That's AI, AGI. Artificial general intelligence, that's probably not going to come. And stop saying quantum computing. Stop saying that. Just stop saying that. Because quantum computing happens at 4 Kelvin. Do you know how much energy it takes to drop down to below 80 Kelvin? Do you know what a Kelvin is? Basically, 0 degrees is 273 Kelvin. What we're doing here is not assuming that you have an engineering degree. It's helpful if you have an engineering degree. But if you don't have an engineering degree, you're still going to need to learn engineering on a fly. Remember before when you dropped out of college and you said, oh, a college degree, it's just a piece of paper. This is where you have to learn on the fly while doing on the fly. Because learning on the fly, that's you in the unemployment line, no longer even allowed in the unemployment line, because they just send you your EBT and unemployment money. You don't even need to show up in person. This is why there's so much fraud. In a land of, oh my God, my friend's getting a free handout, I want a free handout, that's the slippery slope into communism. But remember, folks, even if countries go full commie, this is true, which is my bread slicer turns into a dating app. What? Communism? Bread slicer is a dating app? What are you talking about? People in communism are going to be so starved that if you give them a slice of bread, they're going to be willing to participate in a video called 2 Girls, 1 Cup. That's the business model. That's an ass model. This is not a predictor. This is what happens every time money dies. This is why people say positive things about the German efforts to do a turnaround of their country. Because history repeats. How many times a day do you think about the Roman Empire, you guys? Because Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. What you're doing with VCs is you're not asking VCs for money. You're not asking PE for money. You're not trying to take finance 334. You're not trying to take finance 361, which is VC, PE, DB. What's VC? Venture capital. What's PE? Private equity. What's DB? Douchebag. You don't need douchebag math. You do need douchebag math. But you don't need to pay $300,000. That same course is currently being taught on YouTube. What you need is you need ROI for business school before you go to business school. What you need is not a higher GMAT score. What you need is putting pen to paper, because all the GSB people who are going to be going to the best parties, they don't realize that they're fucked, because they're going to be graduating into the worst depression in the history of depression or recession. And then they're going to say, oh my God, Larry Chang's fake bag of DoorDash is his dating app. Have you seen that video? It's pretty funny. Why do you use a fake bag of food as your dating app? Because you're literally trying to DJ trash into treasure. I am not joking, even though I'm hilarious. I'm trying to lubricate these truths into your brain as your brain's attack surface only runs on attention and comedy. This is why I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaires with giant boobs. Because blondes with giant boobs, they sit and listen to this for hours in person because they're blonde and they have big boobs. After about 40 to 60 hours, everything clicks where they're like, oh my God, everything you say, it's funny and it's true. Can I suck your dick now? No. You're going to need to make some money. Dinner first, coach. I know. This is why I'm the vagina whisperer, because I will not let you until you take me on vacation and buy me Michelin star food. What is Michelin star food? Right now, during this Great Depression, there are motherfuckers who are going to eat lunch with no alcohol for $2, $3, or $500. That's what you spend on food per week for one person, because you eat out every day. Remember? It used to taste good, but it all tastes like shit now. Do you know why? It's because Chapter 8, Safedine Amu's book, The Fiat Standard. All right, I'm going to just give you $800. I'm just going to give you $800. Say fucking thank you. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of being this awesome. I'm tired. Here's $800. Here's $800. The textbook, when stuff gets woke, it gets worse. Let me repeat that. When stuff gets woke, it gets worse. This is $800. I don't care about my sound quality. I don't care about my sound quality. This is Mr. Robot episode 5 if it weren't fake and retarded and affected by the script. This is why blondes with big boobs, it works for them every time. Because what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School, they used to teach you at Harvard Business School. Here's $800, grab a pen. You're solving a $20,000 problem, say thank you. Because this book has a chapter 17. This book does not have chapter 17. It's the same book. So, maybe you think that Larry Chang is just a future owner of a sports team, super similar to my mentor, Irv Grosbeck. Let's say you don't even like sports because it's bread and circus. I get it. I get it. It's smart to not watch sports. But don't belittle my effort to own a sports team. This is a sports team. It's called the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics play in and around the MIT Harvard area. They have a green logo and they do a bunch of Irish shit. There's a person who used to play there. His name is Larry Legend. Your retarded brain put me into a pretzel. Like, you're a crab dragging me down. This is your pattern recognition. Do I have your consent to pin it? Because you got raised by a single mom. Where'd your dad go? I think you are a video recording fishing for change. What? Basically what you just told me is my dad took off. Where did your dad go? Don't blame your dad for wanting to fuck ugly women. Oh, I just looked at who your dad tries to fuck. I would not like, I would need, I don't ever take Viagra, but I would need like 100 Viagra pills because your dad was trying to fuck fugly women instead of taking care of you. What the fuck are you talking about? Sounds and ramblings. Tell me about your dad. No dad. No dad. $800? Let's go. So I realize that $800 is more money than your dad made because you live in a poop hole. That's okay that you lived in a poop hole because chapter 17 of Boston Celtics owner Irv Grousbeck has a chapter 17. What chapter did I just say? Because this book, it sells for $4, $5, or $6. If you can't get into Stanford GSB by reading a $6 book, you are an NPC. That is worth $800. Why? Because you're saying in a video or a WordPress or any mechanism, you're saying, would you like to get $270,000 in return on investment for spending $3, $4, or $6? The conclusion that you will help people reach is chapter 17, it got removed. Chapter 17, it got edited out. Also edited out was Irv Grousbeck, the owner of the Boston Celtics, also got edited out. He was crazy. Anger issues. What are you talking about? He wasn't crazy. He just was trying to escape the crabs in a pot because your mom was trying to drag him down and there you go. And there you go. I like messing with people who think they are elite or better than others. What you're doing is you're being a version of your father because he was trying to mess with people. Yeah, there you go. You're your father's child. You are your father's child. I like messing, because this is what your dad would say. I like messing with people who think they are better than me because what you have that he also has is a brokenness in delayed gratification. What is delayed gratification? Well, did he not? Did he not? And look at how quickly you get into your emotions. Can't we just focus on two girls, 1 cup of Goyim knowledge? Because you're the Goyim. You're the Goyim. You're the Goyim. This is what you're going to do. You're going to come back better. This is what you're going to do. You're going to come back better. Timed out for 2 seconds. What am I watching right now? LOL. What you're watching right now is two girls, 1 cup of GSB knowledge. The Goyim School of Business. The Goyim School of Business is, you tell me what the Goyim School of Business, oh my God, as an exercise, tell me what you think I've been talking about in the 30 minutes that you've been watching of this 1.5 hour video. What is the Goyim School of Business? It's not a schizo wall. It's what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. They used to teach you at Harvard Business School. It's not schizo. It's an orgasm of evidence that I just gave you another $800 because chapter 17 it got lost. I'm showing you the lost. I'm showing you the lost pages. You know those murder mysteries? I'm going to peek. Dude's obsessed. Dude's obsessed with the Ivy Leagues. Dude's obsessed. Don't view it as an obsession. View it as it's the best of the best of the best. And I went ahead and dumbed this shit down. I even brought for you something that's right up your alley, which is into Goyamville. What's a Goyam? You're a Goyam. I'm a Goyam. We're all Goyam. This is the Goyam School of Business. I just happen to do guest lectures at Harvard, Stanford. Maybe that intimidates you. Maybe you are saying, wait a minute, if you're that good, why aren't there more people here? This is where we don't worry about the suppression. We don't worry about, hey, do heterosexual people get a voice? We're not going to worry about, hey, this guy is really, really, really good looking for a heterosexual. Should I make a Brokeback Mountain joke? We're doing Brokeback Waffle Motel. We're doing Brokeback Tuna Salad Sandwich. We're doing Brokeback Mountain Taco. We're doing Brokeback Eskimo Brothers. Why? Because somebody who's Israeli is going to age out of being gay. Brokeback VC, it's 7 Chinese dudes, no homo. Brokeback has melting snow. Where does the snow go? It goes into Straight Pussy River. Brokeback Bangkok. Brokeback Hot Tub Hotel. In hindsight, that's not very good. Brokeback and John Wang. Oh my God. These jokes don't write themselves. I write them. Because all those things are sequels. All those things are hilarious because this is a safe space for heterosexuals to explain GSB. GSB, the Goyam School for Business. Yeah. Why are you unemployed? No worries. Because we're going to take you from unemployed watching YouTube, pretending that this is your job, to $800. because Chapter 17, bankruptcy, it got removed from edition 5 to edition 6. When you say John Wang, you're not understanding John Wang is not in Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang. John Wang is also not in John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. Who are those 6 and Adam Crampton? Who are those 7 6'2" plus Chinese guys who are all really, really, really good looking? They're all the same guy. Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. Look up Larry Chang, GameStop board of director. Can't stop, won't stop, Chang stop. That's what this is I'm telling you that I'm turning around GameStop for $0. John Wang, he was nice to me. Maybe you're so heterosexual. Maybe you're so heterosexual that you can't tell I'm really, really hot. Oh, bro, I'm so heterosexual. I don't even know if you're good looking or not. Sure, buddy. This is how you know if a Chinese guy is going to be 2 girls, 1 cup of GSB. How a Chinese guy is going to be doing Chinese entrepreneurship before speaking at Harvard, Stanford. Am I talking about John Wang or Larry Chang? I'm talking about, can you be heterosexual and give a compliment to a heterosexual? That tastes like victory. John Wang, we're at a party, and he's like 2 or 3 compliments. He was not CEO. He was not CEO. Yet, he was not CEO. He was not CEO. Yet, I can do it with heavier objects. Doing it with little things, my hands are just too big. My hands are just too big. Windsurf. It's a company that sold twice for $1 billion to 2 separate people. Has that ever been done before by anyone other than Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang, Adam Crampton? No. It was because John Wang was nice to Larry Chang, and I went ahead and said, you seem really nice too. Are you employee number 1? What is employee number 1? That's the C-fucking-O. CEO. That's the CEO. I'm CEO of this shit, bitch. John Wang is the ethnic slur for when you come on to a Larry Chang video, which is, oh, Brokeback. Oh, is this John Wang? John Wang's actually a real person. Have I told you that he sold a company within 30 days of meeting me when he wasn't even the CEO? Wait a minute, Larry. Wait a minute. Are you saying that a Chinese dude was nice to you and then he became CEO and he also sold a company for $1 billion? I'm going to say I just met Larry Chang for the first time, institution number 1 of Silicon Valley. I hope you appreciate May viewing time. I don't fucking care about your view time. What the fuck's wrong with you? I'll pin you. It's not that I'm angry. It's why can't you just pick up the money? This message is held for review. No, we're all biased here. This is top content. LOL, a case study. What's the last part? For real, for real? So this is where YouTube Lives have changed. because YouTube lives have changed. Oh my God. I can't help it. 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 Because your life, it's going to get shitty if your life doesn't change. We have one choice. Shelby Sapp said this yesterday. We either wake up getting better or we wake up getting worse. This video is the most valuable video you've ever come across. Why? Because it's hilarious. Two girls, one cup of GSB. Who's ever called you a goyim? Like inside this Freemason Illuminati, nobody tells you how to join Freemason Illuminati and then quit. Larry, you should watch blah, blah, blah by Jack. You remind me of the deal. I was wonder if you relate. I relate to you no longer being a pattern recognizer. You should be a pattern replicator. You're stuck in anal analyses. Your anal analyses. Look at you trying to judge. Oh my God, this is actually amazing. I'm saying chapter 17. I'm saying lecture 11. I'm saying if you can't make $800 selling a $100,000 bill for $800, know that you'll never ever watch any video and make $40. This is what happened when drop shipping ruined people's brains. Ditto homosexuals trying to ruin your brain when you were under 22 years old. I know. I know everything about everything. I used to run the Silicon Valley gay mafia as a heterosexual. Why? Because did you see yesterday's video? It was the school for women. Did I dress up like a woman? This is Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian. You got to check out his videos. Instead of doing pattern recognition, which is analyses, do pattern repetition and do pattern iteration. You sitting in judgment, it makes you feel good going from YouTube video to YouTube video because you sit and you judge. Are there even 35,000 views? Judgment. How many subs does this person have? Judgment. I'm telling you, while risking a lot, by telling you there are 3 institutions of Silicon Valley. Y Combinator is the deer in headlights. Stanford University is a top 30 school coming in at number 1. The number 2 school behind Stanford University is the delta between my brain and your brain. Let me repeat that because Stanford won't tell you this. In the same way that I am significantly smarter than you, that's Stanford's delta to whatever claims to be number 2, which is 29 miles behind in the marathon. The fucking marathon is only 26.2 miles. But Stanford's going to just say, oh, well, I'm going to try to be nice and shucks, I'm number 1. And before you say Stanford football, know that eventually Larry Chang might be athletic director. Bob Bowlesby transitioning to DEI, Bernard Muir. Okay, DEI, Bernard Muir. When a black dude who has no wherewithal to run an athletic program showed up at campus, I'm like, I will work with this. I'm not going to miss Bob Bowlesby, but I do miss Bob Bowlesby. I will be your first Chinese friend. I send him gifts as Bernard Muir, random black dude coming from fucking Brown. Like, you should be coming from the Big Ten commissioner to be Stanford athletic director. Why? Most number of national championships in the history of national or championships. Because we're on point number 10, which is CS183E. Everything I've said for the past 16 minutes, ever since I dropped the pelvic floor to go to the bathroom, is editing CS183. Bernard Muir. You can literally have a retard in athletic director. Stanford would keep on winning national championships and gold medals. Why? Lisa Falzone, hot blonde with big boobs and is a billionaire. Caroline Rodriguez, blah, 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 blah. Everybody. I'm batting 1,000. I'm batting 1,000. I'm batting 1,000. Yes, I'm friends with their husbands. I'm batting 1,000. This is why you want to date Christian, because your husband's going to say, oh my God, Larry Chang helped you be a billionaire. Tell me I'm Eskimo Brothers with Larry Chang. Nope, not Eskimo Brothers. Oh, did you guys do cardio this morning? This has all been CS183E. What is CS183E? It's what happens when a heterosexual has to listen to literally two pansexual neurodivergents. Do you know who my mentee, Peter Thiel, is? Thiel. If I don't help him, he is bankrupt and not trying to shove JD. What's JD Vance's original name? JD Gregory? And then afterwards, Sam Altman. Today is day number 84. This is another $800. Are you ready? 900, 820. Are you ready? Today's day 84. So write down these numbers: 84, 15, 13, and 3. 84, 15, 13, and 3. Hashtag 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK. OpenAI is a flaming turd of shit that's currently on fire, about to go bankrupt. It's got a $300 billion lawsuit from my Eskimo brother, Elon Musk. It's going to get sued out of existence while it's committing accounting fraud. Larry, how do you know everything about everything? It's because I have this. I have this. I'm not going to say that John Wang gave it to me, because I kind of just took it. What did I take from John Wang? I took stickers, and I didn't need his consent to take a windsurf sticker and sell two companies for $1 billion and then write the VC case study for windsurf. Have I told you that a Chinese dude who was nice to me, who was not CEO, became CEO and then sold a company for $1 billion? Have I told you about windsurf? When you say John Wang, all you're doing is spiking the football into your own balls, if you had balls. Ladies, school for women was genius. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because this information, it needs to get out there. And if I don't deliver it, people are going to be screwed. Remember Bernard Muir? You don't remember. This is the black dude that became athletic director after Bob Bowlesby. I laugh because Stanford as a machine, it runs on its own. It's going to produce national championships. Why? Because if you're Chinese 6'5", with a perfect SAT score, with a GPA of 4.7 out of 4, you need to bring 2 gold medals and be a 5-diamond athlete in 2 sports. Maybe that sounds competitive to you, because you can DEI your way into some things, but when the ball's in play, the ball don't lie. So I think that's a compliment I try to follow. So this is where you avoid this mistake. This is why when I meet women, women look at me and they're like, "You look like 17 orgasms walking." You don't want to catch up to me. You want to just pick up the money. Because after you pick up the money, you're going to do what I want you to do, which is come, grow, go. The problem that people make is they go to business school and they start compiling and warehousing knowledge. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. What you want to do is you want to make the $820. This is what I'm talking about. Can you sell a $100,000 problem for $820? Because if you can't, you don't want to. Because I can do this because I am 15 orgasms incarnate. That's what women see when they see me. They say, I'm going to try to sit on his face and I'm going to try to be a spinner because when you're only 5'8" and you're looking up at Larry Chang, you're like, oh my God, I can finally be a spinner. I'm 5'8". I weigh 150 pounds. Nobody wants to spin an obese person, okay? And no, no, I'm not going to cunnilingus. Your thighs don't even have space between them. Thigh gap for the win. Thigh gap for the win. Two girls, one cup of knowledge. CS183E. If you can't sell a $90,000 problem, if you can't solve a $90,000 problem for under $1,000, you're an AI virgin. Look at how people's sphincters got tight when I said, can you try to make money? This is because you're a money virgin, you're a YouTube virgin, you're a virgin because you've never watched one video and made money. So let's say solving a $80,000 problem and charging $800 is outside of the realm of your possibility. Let's say you think it's in the realm of your possibility. Cool. That would be Chapter 17, bankruptcy. That would be Lecture 11, collateral default, rope to choke. That would be STRAM GT 353. That would be charge $800 for someone to get their return on investment on $100,000 out before $1 gets spent. Turbo hike! But let's say you didn't listen to that as a play call play. This is step one. Which is networking with a rich person and solving a rich person's problem while profiting. When you're trying to be politically wired, where you say, I don't want to help rich people, we need to tax rich people. That's the Goyim side of you, because you're trying to wage a civil war. You're thinking that a billionaire would solve your problems if they just paid more tax. We're not voting our way out of this Great Depression. We're not going to legislate our way out of this Great Depression. The only way that this thing gets turned around is when the American economy, it hits rock bottom. We are way far away from rock bottom. This is what a free fall feels like. Welcome to hyperinflation's early stages. The reason I'm so smart to you is because I read ahead in the book. It's like that teacher from Game of Thrones saying, if you don't sit down and study math class, I'm going to tell you what happens on Sunday when HBO drops a new episode of Game of Thrones because it's a book. And instead of asking me, Larry, how hot are you? And if you can't Google how hot and how tall I am and how hot I am, maybe you should just pick up this money and network with a rich person, not me. Well, also me. This is a Braun power cord. This is rich people problems. This isn't even 1% problems. This is a rich person problem, but it's solving your problem. You see, when I say sell something, you think, oh, do I have to buy 10? Oh, is this drop shipping? You say something retarded. Stop saying retarded stuff and just do something genius. Larry, what's the genius thing I'm about to do? I'm excited. I came to you because you are a Silicon Valley legend. Thank you. Obviously, that's true. This is step one. Step one does not scale. Step one is going to seem counterintuitive. Step one is you have a fake name. Everything about you is fake. Everything about me is so real that you think it's fake because you are fake. So, on eBay, you're going to do some networking. Hey, Larry, is eBay your dating app? I'm making jokes here. That's not a funny joke. eBay. On eBay, you're going to use your real name. And you're going to sell something incredibly expensive, kind of like Justin Kan. Who's Justin Kan? That would be the deer in headlights Y Combinator. Justin Kan sold a website for $300,000. He sold a website for $300,000. Are you going to sell one thing for $300,000? Don't be a cunt. You're not Justin Kan. You're not Larry Chang. You're also not Ed Chen, Bruce Wayne, Larry Chang. You're also not John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang, nor are you Adam Crampton. You are you. You've never made any money ever watching a YouTube video. We're still on point number 10, CS183, which you should be able to sell for $840. This is not a side quest. This is how a female orgasm works, because it's waves and waves of orgasms. I'm about to orgasm money into your Venmo, PayPal. This is how. 703-0458. All the information of the world is available to you. Did you write that down? Who needs me to repeat it? Who's even taking notes? Because you may not believe in a G-spot. You may not even know that women have a vagina or a pussy. Which is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. That hurts me more than it hurts you. Larry, I'm your only viewer. Pay attention to me. Wah, wah, wah. You think your value is higher. Is this? I didn't know you were gay. Cool. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. I'm not timing you out because you're gay, because all are welcome here. I'm timing you out because your brain's broken. That hurt me, timing you out, more than it hurt you. Because you're probably a gay robot just trying to run your algorithm for NPC stuff. 7030458. You see, this is information that the not Silicon Valley gay mafia wants you to not know. This is the Goyam School of Business. Because there is nothing more Christian that I can do for you than to help you make money and then you keep 100% of it. Whether you tithe to a church, that's entirely up to you. Do you see how nobody asked me, hey, what was that power cord part number? It's 7030458. And the most important viewer isn't necessarily you, it's person who's watching this from behind a paywall that's like, oh my God, I can't believe that this knowledge is freely flowing behind this wall of pay. See, it's not a paywall, it's an emotional wall that you have to overcome. It's not a paywall where a poor person who's a YouTube influencer is trying to get you to join their Patreon. We're not doing that. What we're doing is we're having to pay an emotional price, which is what? It's the price of free advice. It's the price of, oh my God, this actually can work. And then you understanding that your self sabotage has a limit, which is maybe you can temporarily stop self sabotaging, which is sell something to a rich person. That's incredibly valuable. Larry, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Y Combinator advice, Paul Buchheit. Sell it first and then buy it. Because that's what you're doing. And once you see it work one time, you're going to see that you should never be making it and then selling it. You see, when you buy 40 and sell 6, you're bankrupt. When you do it any other way other than you sell 1 and then you go buy 1. This is called sell it first and then make it. Do you see why I understand all the Y Combinator business street smarts while understanding all of the Stanford University street smarts? This is 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business. Goyam is like John Wang. Goyam is like Brokeback. Is this Brokeback Goyam? I can't help it. I can't help it. This is a seated meditation. I can't help it. This is chapter 69, Snowball. What this snowball is, and we're still on point number 10, CS183E. What this snowball is you're going to want to do something so that way rich people are going to want to meet you. Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang, and maybe Adam Crampton. They're going to be wanting to meet you. Why? Because your snowball is going to roll down the hill. This is how to get the snowball going. You sell 1 first. Braun power cord 7030458. Then you buy 1 for less than $100. You can buy 1 for $15 or under $40. The reason you do this exercise is that 1, you've never done customer service before. 2, you've never used your real name before. 3, you've never sold one thing and then went to go buy it. 4, you're bouncing from YouTube video to YouTube video, hoping for some epiphany. And this is why I became number 1 in entrepreneurship education, which is, can you make $0? Can you make $5 by lecture number 2? At Stanford Engineering, Technology Entrepreneurship Engineering 145, I asked people, how much did you spend to be at Stanford? Nobody knew. Think about that. Everybody's at Stanford. Nobody knows how much they spent. Okay, How about this class? Finally, some athlete raised their hand and they're like, this is what a 6'5" arm looks like in the back row. Like the sun's being blotted out. I'm here free. I'm on a full ride. I'm like, perfect. You and all your athlete friends, go ahead and sit up in the front row. Pretend like you spent $60,000 to be in class. This is lecture 1. Try to get all $60,000 back by lecture number 3. What? What? You see, you can take 70 classes at Stanford and never make $1. This is what they don't teach you at Stanford GSB that they used to teach you at Stanford Engineering, which is you could be graduating into the worst economy where you can't even get a product marketing job, product management job, product display. You can't even be a booth babe. That's what happens when you go to school and you graduate at a lower income. Have you heard that this generation is going to have a worse economic outcome than any other generation? Have you heard the fatality rates? And I know I shouldn't be laughing, but how does everybody not see this? That Gen Z's fatality rate is like 30, 35, 38%. This is what happens when everything's fake and the money's fake, is that the kill rate spikes. Wait till hyperinflation comes. Wait till the poop hits the fan harder. This is us doing an edit, which is there are 2 economies right now. Have you heard that Michelin star restaurants are having record years? Because when you go out to eat, you're wondering that this restaurant, how do they even stay in business? You look at that restaurant and you know they're going bankrupt. How are other restaurants booming? It's because it's so obvious. Now it'll be obvious to you. It's called the best of times, the worst of times. So instead of talking about macro political, let's try to solve some problems of the people that are having the best of times. Because class warfare, it's not going to work. Do you know why it's not going to work? Because a guillotine has no answer for Web 5. What's a guillotine? In the old days, when the government got caught defrauding and lying, you just get a guillotine out. That's why it's a guillotine. Have you heard Marie Antoinette saying, let them eat cake because people were starving? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It's always the best of times, worst of times, right before the money completely dies. Then there's war, but there's good news, is that we Goyim, we got connected to the internet, and there's not going to be a war where we get shipped off to die for the world leaders that are best friends. Goyim power! It's a club for Goyim. It's 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyim School of Business. I'm quite proud of myself. Why? Because the competency level and the distribution is staggeringly genius. You may think that I'm currently failing right now. You think I'm failing right now. You think I'm failing because views. Here's what you don't know that I know. Content is king. This is recorded in triplicate in case somebody uses an EMP device to destroy YouTube. But here's the other thing, is that the YouTube algorithm is affected Steve Chen style, Larry Chang style, Chad Hurley style, which is when you see that the YouTube algorithm has a window, you don't have a name for that window. You have the, oh my God. Who's this Chinese cowboy? Why am I seeing him now everywhere? It's a window. It's called the Overton window. I'm showing you what the Overton window is for $0. We're still on point number 10, CS183E. To know why we're at E, the letter E, we have to understand the 2 or 3 pansexual neurodivergents that did C, B, and extrapolated A. They were practicing on a cadaver. And this is not me talking about Sam Altman's sexual relationship with his sister. Because we're talking about practicing on a cadaver. Goyam, you guys, Goyam, Larry Chang, were the cadaver. Because once you realize that me, I'm going to die in the year 2129. I don't know when you plan on exiting, but this is my extinction burst, which is point number 11, point number 12. 10 is CS183E, taking advantage of pansexual neurodivergence, which is be less fake, be less fiat. That's why the food tastes like crap. Have you been to a Michelin star restaurant? That food tastes amazing. What people are spending $350 for lunch? What people? What people? Sometimes the restaurant's not even open for lunch, but that's okay because there is so much dinner revenue because dinner is more than $350. No alcohol. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. Look at people's reactions because we're practicing on a cadaver for business. You don't need a search fund to buy a cadaver. Everyone's business could be a cadaver. This is another truth that, why am I the only one talking about it? Every business dies. It has a 100% death rate. Do you think you're talking to Bank of America right now? That business died. It's NCNB and CNS Sovereign. By being able to practice on a cadaver, we can get super rich. This is where I thought Stanford and Harvard were going to go with search fund, hashtag StramGT353, hashtag HBS6534, hashtag HBS6452 SWE. And instead of calling this board schizophrenic, why don't you call it for what it is, which is the fifth epiphany, which is Vanderbilt University, MGT 6443. Vanderbilt University, PELBO 6531. Vanderbilt University, Financial Data Analytics 6534. HBS 6452 SWE. SWE stands for Software Engineering. Do you need to be a software engineer? No. It helps if you want to do, it helps, but you don't need it anymore because AI can do that for you. Here's what AI cannot do, and why am I the only one talking about this? Which is AI cannot do point number 12, which is tech sales. Somebody is still going to need to go collect that money. Somebody's going to need to go collect that money. So instead of saying this guy's fried, how am I exactly fried? Because that's all you can say is, Larry, you suck. Because when you don't address something, I thank you for your energy, and I hope that you do a turnaround. I hope that you do a turnaround. Asian cowboy. Let's go. Point number 13 hammers the point home. It's called get off of zero. When you solve a problem for a rich person, I'm not going to say that you're automatically rich, but remember this. During this current Great Depression, there are going to be more millionaires and billionaires minted since time began. Why? Because all the rules are simultaneously changing while staying the same. What do I mean by that genius comment? It's this: the world is going to be ruled by the three laws of thermodynamics. That means you got to get off of zero because there's entropy involved. What is the biggest problem that you think you face from a macroeconomic standpoint? Because all those all those issues, smart people already know how to solve them. We're not voting our way out of this. There's no legislation that's coming. This is what came already. Ladies, did you come already? Because if you're trying to reach that fifth orgasm during a Larry Chang video, maybe you should curtail your bean flicking, not my words, hers. Temporarily arrest your bean flicking, pull your wet vagina fingers from out of your pussy, grab a pen and one of those credit card bills that you don't open, because this porn, which is your porn, it's not actually porn. It's actually a how-to video. Let's let's benefit. Let's benefit. How are we going to benefit? We're going to benefit from, you tell me. What's a thing that you remember? Because macroeconomically, you're going to think, oh, if the rich people would just pay more taxes. Oh, if price controls work. There is no legislation that will violate the three laws of thermodynamics. I keep saying the three laws of thermodynamics. This is what I'm talking about. We need rules for money, but not rulers. Larry, how does this go to the three laws of thermodynamics? The reason we can't vote our way towards generating less debt is what Lynn Alden, control systems engineer Lynn Alden, talks about, which is that nothing stops this train. Nothing stops the train for hyperinflation. Nothing stops the train of increased money printing. Do you know about what's going on in Japan? Do you know how hard it is to keep up to date on everything? Why am I able to simultaneously stay so mentally healthy while keeping up watching the doom scroll? You see, to me, it's not a doom scroll. To me, I already saw it coming. This is why all the information percolates nicely. It's called Nothing Stops This Train. And when you realize that nothing stops this train, you won't try to stop the train, and then you can easily parse and filter, is this a person trying to stop the train? When you're trying to stop the train, you don't realize that legislation is not going to solve it. Nothing stops this train. The three laws of thermodynamics. This is why Bitcoin maxis are cunts. This is why people who own Bitcoin are assholes. Is they want to speak in a language that excludes retards. It's the opposite of retard whispering. Me, I can't help it. I am the retard whisperer. I just care about people that are at $0. Because Bitcoin people, they said a fuck you for their 30th version of fuck you money, which is fuck you, get off of zero. Fuck you, I will just give you 80 Bitcoin. I'll just give you 80 Bitcoin. Fuck you. MIT literally gave people $800,000 in Bitcoin and people went and bought a pizza. There's no more fuck you of a fuck you than I gave you $800 million. What did you do with it? Oh, I bought two pizzas. This is why it's a fuck you. Is Bitcoin is winning the lottery. Why does every lottery winner go bankrupt? This is another fuck you. It's called proof of work. That's inside Bitcoin language for the three laws of thermodynamics. They're in control of the money. You might see this as word salad, but you just aren't even really paying attention. Because what Bitcoin is guacamole recipe number 23 called hashtag external API. What is an external API, even though I've said it 80 times? It's an API that's coming from outside of the house. This phone call, it's coming from bum 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 inside the house. Every external API that's a good external API ends up coming inside the house. Is this a orgasm joke where I say, I'll tell you when I'm going to have an orgasm. I'm going to tell you when I have an orgasm. And then I have an orgasm in your mouth. Like, no. I'm not going to have an orgasm in your mouth because, ladies, you have a dirty mouth. You can go ahead and blow me with a condom on. The reason I'm not going to blow it in your mouth is you're just going to, one, swallow it, but you're going to pretend swallow it. You're going to try to beg, borrow, steal millions from me. You're going to say, that was good. You're going to swallow half of it. This is not my first rodeo. Then you're going to be like, and then you're going to spit the other half of the ginormous gasm in your hand in the bathroom and then shove it up your pussy and then say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. Are you a millionaire? Because fuck those fucking Bitcoin people. Fuck them. Because proof of work, that's a fiat attack on you're printing money. I caught you. I caught you doing something fraudulent. All of my videos are I gotcha. Not I got poor people. I gotcha. You're a rich person and you're doing something. You're doing something. Once you see that every one of my videos is championing people who are poor and retarded, you understand everything about everything. Because the reason my channel gets suppressed is every video is I caught a person who is World Economic Forum flavored. I caught him cheating. And I wired my brain to help you benefit from a system that is, to its core, incredibly corrupt. Once you see this, you're going to say what everybody says, which is, Larry, you are an institution of Silicon Valley. See, they used to say that because I would go to every party. I party every night. I literally go out 19 nights per week. I don't ever drink. This is me alcohol free, which allows me to learn volumes of information super fast in an attempt to read 3 books per day. Am I explaining to you why Bill Clinton and Barack Obama are smart? They're reading 3 books a day as president. I'm reading 3 books a day going out every night. Pretty easy. Plus speed reading. Oh, chapter 14, Jim Quick Limitless. We're talking about practicing on a cadaver. We're talking about tech sales. We're talking about getting off of zero. We're talking about point number 14. We're talking about entire portfolios going bankrupt. Do you know about the GameStop short squeeze? Do you know about AMC? Do you know about silver? Do you know about gold? Because entire pension funds are going to be going bankrupt. I'm not saying to take a payout. I'm saying do your own research. That would be chapter 14. That would be chapter 14. Did you think when I said 14 that it was just 14? Chapter 14, Jim Quick, is speed reading. 62, 64, 67. Chapter 14, Turbo Hike! Did you jump off sides? Because the play does not start until I say Pizza Hut. Chapter 14, Chapter 13, Chapter 4, Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut. Welcome from New Zealand. There's this person similar to John Wang, David Rorsheim. David Rorsheim from New Zealand, Auckland. Some country I am paying close attention to because I see Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK imploding. I see them imploding. Do you know that your country is $1 in, $1 out? Why is your country run on US dollars? It's because everything about Australia is super gay and super fake. Well, there you go. David Rorsheim. I helped him be a billionaire. Why? Because I was slamming GSB kind of like how I am. Like, I'm like this all the time. So David Rorsheim was like, oh my God, you're hilarious. You are so over the top. But everything you say is accurate, and I get it. Basically, when you have a strong dad, you view a person who's 2 years older than you as basically somebody who could be friends with your dad. I've had dad vibe ever since I got accused of being a pedo when I was a freshman going to prom. Maybe you don't know what prom is. It's a party that happens for senior girls, junior girls. You can't go unless you're with a senior or a junior. I go my freshman year, and everyone was like, who the fuck is this 40-year-old? I'm like, what? What? They didn't say 40-year-old, but they'd be like, what school do you go to? I am like, Central. They're like, you don't go. I've never seen you before. I'm like, yeah, I go to high school. They're like, you look old. It's so creepy when people who work jobs come back to high school for prom. I'm like, I have a job at the Naperville Park District. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, then I do my Naperville Park District job. They're like, you don't go to school here. And then the hottie that brought me, Renee, she was blonde and she had big boobs. She was like, everybody thinks you're old. I'm like, your friend Tracy looks like a dude, like a 5'11" dude who's got a wig on. First person to say audiobooks loses. That's chapter. That's a chapter. That's also a fortune cookie. In fact, that's $850 for you. Because You need to get off of zero. And I know I'm backtracking, but this is the Great Depression. So I'm going to do point 15 Great Depression and get off zero while helping you off your audiobook. Do you see how no matter how retarded you guys get, I will turn you around. I will turn you around because this is the Groiper. This is the Groiper. This is the Groiper. This is the Groiper. We're Groipering. We're Groipering right now. This is this Groiper School of Business. This is the Groiper School of Business. 2 girls, 1 cup of GSB. You can make $850 by walking around with a fortune cookie in your pocket. The fortune cookie in your pocket, this is what you write on it. You write, first person to say audiobook loses. Because you can only read an audiobook at 2.5x speed. You can read a book at 11 to 20, 25, 50x speed. This is incredibly unpopular because this solves why Africa has never invented anything in the history of Africa. It's just engineers and doctors pillaging communities. When you put my fortune that is now your fortune, you are fortunate because you can just keep 100% of the money that you make because you're writing down my fortune, which says the first person to say audiobook loses. Yeah, okay. So basically, you're saying never invented anything. Thank you. Thank you. Ron Louther has chimed in to say, hey, I just wanted to jump in and wish you luck on your stream. Thanks, buddy. 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyam School of Business. The reason 2 girls, 1 cup is viral is we're currently in a Great Depression. That information's getting suppressed. Don't worry about the Larry Chang YouTube channel getting suppressed. I'm going to be just fine. I'm probably going to make $2.5+ million on this video that I mark private and then load up over at Duck9, www.duck9.com. I'm not going to let this just hang around on YouTube with its under 650 views. Because guess what? 650 views is a lot more than my genius set of videos called CS183D. Sam Altman on September 14, 2015, 9-14-15, he asked the question, who at Stanford is going to teach CS183D? Is it going to be another pansexual neurodivergent teaching? Nope. The heterosexual who ran your gay mafia already taught it. I taught it. I loaded it up on YouTube. It's just sitting there with under 70 views. But Larry, if it has fewer than 100 views, is it even worth my while? That's how you got tricked. You got tricked to be one. You got tricked into consensus thinking. You got tricked. You think voting is going to affect your way to vote out of this mess. You got tricked. You don't understand what me, Lynn Alden, and Bitcoin people understand, which is nothing stops this train. You got tricked because you're going to be so angry about grocery store prices that you're going to actually support price control. You see, when the money is limitless, well, not for you, you're unemployed, but when the money's or underemployed, or this true thing, which is you're rocking 3 jobs, 10 hours per week each, never updating your LinkedIn because you have 3 jobs where you make 350 to 600K, 10 hours each. Now you rock my YouTubes. Why? Because I'm the guy who taught you 3 jobs, one Chinese dude. 3 jobs, one Chinese dude. Is that even fair? The market is the pricer of goods and labor. If you think that one guy, 3 jobs is not fair, know that when I was at the University of Illinois, that I had to be a student athlete while graduating engineering, while being an officer of my fraternity, while being the sorority pinata, while being theta guy, while being the anchor splash guy, while having a 3-way with 2 sororities, AE Phi, Kappa Delta, Kappa Sig. Because when we are slutty in our money makings, you can't stop Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? He got angry in a happy kind of angry way by asking Barack Obama, either physically, virtually, or intellectually, why are you bailing out? Why are you bailing out? Why are you bailing out another bank? It's a valid question, which is, why is the chancellor bailing out another bank? When bank bailouts, nothing stops this train. More bailouts coming. When we can't vote our way out of it, we can't print our way out of it. Why did the chancellor bail out another bank? Why did Barack Obama bail out all those banks? This is why. Is that nothing stops this train. Why was I not Treasury Secretary? I wasn't necessarily sounding the alarm bells, but I am so easy to pick out of a crowd. I'm already at every party, and look at my social media. I already said it, and then other people just said, oh, why is he so hot? Oh, I don't trust anything he says. He goes out every night. He sounds like he's on drugs. Is there anything that I've said that is inaccurate? Because most of it is actually financial advice. I don't want you to take it with a grain of salt because that sounds like you're trying to swallow. Remember, ladies, if you're wanting to throw a blowjob my way, I'm going to make you blow it after date 15 with a condom on because I don't trust you with a mouthful of my jizz. I don't trust you with that. Why? Because if you throw it up your vagina, you might claim that the purchase order that you signed, yes, I make women sign purchase orders. Purchase orders. I am buying Larry Chang sperm for $275,000. Sperm. Because you can't get me for an SA charge if I have it on paper from 2 weeks ago that you wanted to buy jizz. Is this California Cryobank? No, because sometimes it's a Miami bank. What is a bank? What is a cryobank? It's where you buy sperm. And what sperm is incredibly valuable? The kind of sperm that self-funds itself. This is the biggest crop of billionaires that will ever be made. Why? Because history is repeating. Why? Because you think $275,000 for a vagina full of jizz is a great deal. Maybe you don't believe that something can self-fund itself. Because when I jizz into your vagina, out will come a 6 foot plus baby that will have ginormous hands and really good hand eye coordination. That baby is going to be your baby that you baby. That baby is obviously going to be good at football, basketball, baseball. That baby is probably going to swim in the Olympics because it's going to have feet and hands that look similar to this. You see, that baby is going to buy you a house like you're black, but this is not available for black women. There's too much baggage there. But if you're pretty much any other ethnicity, my genes, you know what? I'll open it to everybody. I'll open it to everybody. I'm feeling generous. Because what you're getting is a entity that is going to ace the NIL. What's NIL? It's name industrial Larry. Your NIL deal is your ability to make money as a freshman who's probably going to be 6'4" or 6'5" as a freshman. You thought college. I'm talking high school. I'm talking high school. Are they doing NIL deals yet in high school? Because this is Web 5. The reason $275,000 seems like a lot of money but isn't, it's because Web 5, it's here. Our future's here. It's just not evenly distributed. This is where if you can't make $865 explaining to people what Web 12 is, you can maybe make $500 explaining Web 5. Or, you know what? Try to make, this is your exercise, try to make $8 explaining what Web 5 is. You trying to explain what Web 5 is, that is worth $8,000. You can keep all that money. Because what is irrefutable, thank you for your patience, thank you for your attention, and know that if you haven't laughed, you're not watching this video. Because the only reason you're watching this video is, oh my God, this guy's actually serious. You can't Lindsay Hill me. You can't Lindsay Hill me. You can't Lindsay Hill me. I am impossible to Lindsay Hill. Who's Lindsay Hill, Larry? Lindsay Hill decided to make $1 million by throwing vagina to Trevor Bauer. Mechanical engineering, UCLA. Ditto Travis Kalanick. Who understands UCLA engineering better than you do? Better than you. Kirby Chang! University of Illinois, mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering. I honor my great brain with your money. Where's the money? Here it is, Web 12. And because I brought up Kirby Chang, you're welcome. We're going to Web 12 into some naughty Shadana breathing. This just became not $800. This just became $8 million. $8 million? What? Okay, strap in. There are people, they're called billionaires. And I know that that's a trigger word for you because you got triggered. You see, a billionaire, he's going bankrupt in a different kind of way health-wise. Because have you met a billionaire before? They went full retard. This is how to make the money based on them being retarded. Once you see that every one of my videos is solving a problem, it's just unpopular to solve a problem. How popular am I right now? With you, very popular. You're about to understand how to rip $8 million from a billionaire. Fat cat. Maybe you don't know what a cat is or is fat. Maybe you redefine what obesity is Maybe you're emotional about money. This is what you're going to do. You're going to find a literal fat cat, a person who's fat, who's a billionaire. That person, you can just look at them. Don't take a picture with your phone and text me at 650-283-8008. Don't text me that. Don't text me that. You're going to find a fat cat and you're going to you're going to rip 8 mil. Why? Because you're going to do the fortune cookie technique of first person to say audiobook loses. You're going to add a fortune to the other billfold of your wallet. It's going to say first person to say CPAP wins. Let me repeat that. First person to say audiobook loses, that's a different $800. First person to say I have a CPAP but don't use it gives you $8 million. The reason you write that down in your wallet is you have a CPAP that you don't use. You're obese. You're solving your own problem. You're obese. You have a CPAP machine. You don't even know who Kirby Chang is. I'm still on Web 12. This is point number 18. Web 12 is that annoying Chinese guy who is better than you in sports, who then says, I can't go out with you guys. Where the fuck do you have to go? It's 11 o'clock. I have to go study engineering. Bullshit, you are not in the engineering program. I thought you were on a completely basket weaving type of major. This is Web 12, which is you're running ahead of the fat cat. You're going to guess that they have a CPAP machine. I can look at a person and just say, when you're going to die, if you're a fat billionaire. The reason for that is you can see it on their face because there's inflammation everywhere. They're not sleeping well. They have sleep apnea. They have a CPAP machine. They used it maybe for 10 hours 3 months ago, and now it's filthy. It's a filthy CPAP machine. I don't even work in respiratory. I just listened to a Joe Rogan podcast with James Nestor. I don't even like Joe Rogan. I think he's kind of ruining the comedy scene of Austin, Texas, while being a super lib. Anyway, Joe Rogan. I think some girl was listening to it because she thought that I would like it. Do you ever have that where the girl, oops, my boob came out. Oops, I was just listening to Joe Rogan. Oops, I'm going to a Republican thing. You're a Republican, right? So I was at a girl's place and she was listening to Joe Rogan. This is during COVID. I think she had an STD. I think she had COVID. I think she was dirty because she was dirty. She's listening to Joe Rogan pretending to like it. Have you ever had a girl pretend to like it? I know when a girl is pretending to like it because she sounds like she's pretending to like it. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not a big fan. So then she was like, oh, well, you could put something else on. I'm like, no, I really don't want to touch your phone that connects to your Sonos because fecal matter, right? You know that women bring their phone into the bathroom, they wipe their ass, and they grab their phone. People's phones are disgusting. So we're still on Web 12. We're still on $8 million. This is how I discovered James Nestor. No, I don't want to put anything else on. I'll just listen. So James Nestor was talking about a book about breathing. I'm like, this motherfucker, like, that's a good scam where you're going to write a book about breathing. Uh, Congratulations. It's like writing a book about fucking, breathing and fucking. Congratulations. You've got a good money scheme going on. And it got you on Joe Rogan, who I don't love as a comedian anyway. So he brings up a couple points about holding breath for 20 minutes. And I know about these pulmonauts. Now I'm intrigued. I'm like, you did your homework because people think that they can hold their breath for like a minute. You can hold your breath for like 20 minutes. And I'm not going to dive with scuba equipment, okay? Because guys like me, we die all the time from diving with scuba equipment. But guys like me don't die when we free dive and we just learn to hold our breath. So he's talking about being a pulmonaut. And a pulmonaut sounds a lot like astronaut. Did I tell you I have an interest in aerospace engineering? So this guy has a book about breathing, and I'm like, you know what? You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I got to read 3 books a day. I might as well buy this fucking retard's book. Right? Fucking $30 because the price went up because fucking Joe fucking Rogan. I'm like, this motherfucker with a $30 book? Fuck you. But you know what? Fuck me because I'm going to read her book for her. She's the one who wanted to do a. She's the one who thought I liked Joe Rogan. So fuck me. I'm going to read this fucking $30 fucking book. Ladies, thank you for throwing vagina. Thank you for throwing vagina. Thank you for throwing vagina. I'm sure that your vagina is amazing. Thank you for your vagina. I'm also not interested, but thank you for. Thank you. It's 30 fucking bucks. What the fuck? So, so in the book, he talks about joining a society of people who keep secrets about how to breathe. I'm like, I like secret societies. The book is genius on 100 levels of genius. Why is it genius? Because it solves so many things. How does this apply to you making $8 million? One page, 42. One page, it's just page 42. If you can't make $8 million on page 42, you are an absolute fucking retard because you can't write on a fortune cookie. The first person to say audiobook loses. What you also can't do is you can't help a person who's got a CPAP that they won't use. But if you write it in your fortune, you should be able to rip 8 mil. This is how to do this. This is Web 12. Is are you willing to pay $8 million so that way you can see your grandchildren get married? That's 10 years away for a fat cat. If they don't have $8 million to guarantee that they get to see their granddaughter get married. They are not a billionaire and they don't have a granddaughter, because this is what fat cats care about. That's all they care about. They don't care about you orange pilling them. They don't care about they pretend care about politics, but remember, when you've got 10, 15, 35 lifetimes of money, you literally have been DGAF since 20 years ago, which is why you got lazy and fat. What you're doing is you're solving a problem, because here's the other problem is that you've never solved a problem before. And maybe these numbers offend you, but why won't you go on offense and try to solve one problem? Just solve one problem. Maybe that problem's an intimidating one. There are problems everywhere. Look at how problematic you are. It can't be your own problem, because you can't solve your problem with a YouTube video, or else you'd be espousing Larry Chang's The Smartest Person I've Ever Met. I've watched I've watched and benefited from 20 Larry Chang videos, because you haven't said that. Now we're going to have third party dissonance. Now we're going to need to have outside of our headspace, because you're too emotional about your own self. And if you can't get excited about solving some rich dude's problem, that's the next step. That's Web 12. What is Web 12? It's Web 1, Web 2. What is Web 12? It solves the problem that Web 2 is broken. What's Web 12? It's basically 3x Web 4. What's Web 4? It's two computers talking to another mainframe about manufacturing some fake fucking money. That's Web 4. That's what the fuck happened in 1971. We're not going back to the 80s, the 90s. There is no dialing back the clock because of what happened in 1971, which is Nixon took hostages, and then a Fed Reserve chairman later shot the hostages. This is what happens when the money becomes fake. This is why hyperinflation, it's next. Oh my God, 19. The third institution of Silicon Valley. You can make at least $50 the third institution of Silicon Valley, because today is day number 53 of the hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Have I told you that the Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco, specifically Santa Clara? If you can't financially benefit from that, sorry, sorry, sorry. Number 20, the Oriental Cowboy. Your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. Oh my God, point 21. Did you see how my IQ went from 488 to 88 back to 488? I literally sang a country song. I literally sang a stupid song. Now that song's going to be constantly in your head, because your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. June 18, Pixar. What's Pixar, Larry? Is that your friend Steve Jobs that you used to text message with? Yeah, actually. Good question. Because Pixar has a movie coming out. It's going to be June 18. Larry, you kind of look like Woody. Thank you. Because Woody, or a Chinese version of Woody, oh my God, Chinese Woody. Where's my pen? Will somebody put that? Will somebody text message me that? Chinese Woody? You can't go full retard, but you can Forrest Gump. Oh, you can go full retard. You could go full retard. Look at Peter Thiel. You can go full retard. Look at Sam Altman. Oh, you can go full retard. Look at Reid Hoffman. My God. CS183, CS183B, CS183C, Larry Chang, CS183D. Look up my 20 YouTube videos on CS183S, aka CS183D. But Larry, S and D are different. No, they're the same thing. It's called sales is so emotionally traumatic and stressful to do that they called sales distribution. Who's watching this? Who's watching this right now? Unemployed people are the busiest people that I know. Unemployed people are the busiest people that I know. Thank you for the vagina that you're throwing. If you do blow me on date number 13, I'm going to use a condom because I don't trust you. Why do I not trust you? I don't trust you because you're just going to spit it in your hand and then throw it into your vagina and then try to be a millionaire. So, so I don't even remember. Fast forward, fast forward to Dave Asprey's conference. Fast forward. Guess who's speaking? James Nestor. Bam. Instant BFF. Bam. Instant best friends forever. Instantly. Instantly. James Nestor, brief, page 42. What are you talking about? Have a good day. I'm going to go outside. Peace, blessings. You should read my book and give me 8 mil. You're cool, though. Gay is okay. What? Everybody is pansexual, neurodivergent by default right now. girls, one cup of knowledge. Are you pretty excited about sharing? Are you pretty excited about sharing? The reason I'm excited about sharing
Enter to Bluetooth.
is I can actually solo.
Bluetooth connected.
Chinese entrepreneurship before ATS. I wanted to call this video, It's the Great Depression. Let's mother scratching avoid bankruptcy. Let's understand we're in the Great Depression right now. There's no voting our way out of it. This is two girls, one cup of GSB. Goyam School of Business. You're a Goyam. You're a Goyam. Goyam unites. I was struggling to figure out what kind of following that I was building. Because I wasn't trying to build a following. Larry, you should build a following. You should get people to follow you. I wanted to do Come Grow Go. That's why it's Come Grow Go. This is the following. I figured it out last night. This is why I'm super excited. Two girls, one cup of Goyam School of Business. What's a Goyam School of Business? It's where people get Stanford knowledge spoon-fed to them at the 7th grade level. Why didn't they just read this out of a book? No judgments, no pressure, no onus for you to even like yourself. Because Stanford, they're giving you this knowledge for free at the 7th grade level. Me, I'm going to require you to be 7th grade competent. You see, Stanford says 7th grade, and then people get super intimidated because that's intimidating. That's intimidating. Where you could do the hot girl thing of saying one word. This is what we're going to do, which is we're going to get our lives turned around. This is the Goyam School of Business. I'm sorry that I'm using Yiddish. I'm fluent in American. What's American? American is two girls, one cup of knowledge. What about degrees do you have? This is the degree of GSB, Goyam School of Business, with a JBA. What's a JBA, Larry? That would be a Jewish Business Administration. I have a GBA. A GBA! Oh my God. These jokes just write themselves. Okay, I get it, you're lost. I was answering a question while introducing two girls, one cup of Goyam School of Business. Two girls, one cup, there's a problem with it. People throw up and shit into a cup that you have to eat. That's 2026. How does that diarrhea taste? I'm gonna guess that it doesn't taste very good. This is what we're talking about is you're living in a simulation. It's called Two Girls, One Cup of Everything is Fake and Super Gay. This is you having to go to Hebrew school because you are now going to be fondled at Hebrew school. I can't make this up. But you and I will never meet. This is the following that we're building, which is two girls, one cup of GSB. Two girls, one cup of GSB. Thank you for your mental well wishes. Come back better after your timeout. Just come back better after your timeout. So thank you for juicing my algorithm. Juice, 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 my algorithm. Cheers. Cheers to your juicage. Two girls, one cup of knowledge. Simply put, going to Stanford and paying us $375,000 in real cash, but for you, debt. It's gonna be burdensome for you. It's gonna be burdensome for you, even if you graduated from Harvard, which I do believe, because I'm incredibly gullible, and trustworthy, and trusting. Not trustworthy, I'm trusting. Oops, oops. I'm trustworthy, I'm gullible. When you go into debt, you're gonna feel burdened. This video solves it in bullet points. In fact, the next two bullet points are going to solve it, which are this: return on investment, or GSB, before Goyam School of Business. It's a Goyam School of Business. Goyam is where you're allowed to treat Goyam horribly because they're Goyam. This is why Two Girls, One Cup is a business model, because it's two girls treating each other poorly. If you were in yesterday's video, the school for women, it was women treating women poorly. And when women treat other women poorly, what happens is a video gets made. It's called Two Girls, One Cup. LSD Dreams 808 has said, Larry, you're a legend. I appreciate you, but what I more appreciate is your ability to laugh with me, because Two Girls, One Cup, it's a hilarious video. Oh, seventh grade is very intimidating. I wish the content could elevate, not my content. My content's slightly above the seventh grade. Slightly above. What degree do I have? I have a bachelor in science and engineering. Let's go. Promoting people as I read people. Promoting people. Cesar Cuarto, 1995. The degree I have is a bachelor in science in engineering, specifically mechanical engineering. First job in chemical engineering, because they overlap by 2/3. Let's go. We're not gonna assume, but we kind of sometimes assume an engineering degree. Point number 3. Let's say you don't have an engineering degree and you still want to financially benefit from this video, because starfish, right? Starfish. Why starfish? Why did I draw starfish? Why starfish? It's because it's deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge, deeply understanding duck, D-U-C-K, deeply understanding Chinese knowledge, deeply understanding how to do a turnaround. A turnaround such as the bank is willing to give you an Econo Lodge because the bank took it over, and now the business is actually worth less money than $0. That's why there are homes in Greece and Italy that you can have for $6. It's because the home itself is worth negative money. How about you? Are you worth negative money? No worries. If you have negative money, let's turn you from a neg. Look at all the neg into a POS. A neg into a pause. Neg into a pause. Oh my God. That would be the right arm of my starfish, which is doing a turnaround. Ah, green tea is delicious. Guess who's joining us? Guess who's joining us? Ta-da! Ta-da! I'm not pulling rabbits out of a hat. I'm pulling a Shih Tzu. I'm pulling a Shih Tzu out to talk about. Yes, this video assumes that you have an engineering degree, but let's say we're honest with ourselves, and some of all y'all who are at the 7th grade level are 2 years into college, but actually 7 years away from graduating your exact 4-year degree. Some people's brains got broken during COVID. Some people's got brain breakage after they got suckered into taking the vaccine. Some people's brains are in a whirling milkshake. This is us doing 2 girls, 1 cup of Goyim School of Business, which is, these things are going to sound like a joke. Why? Because we're flippantly self-improving.